Um, oh, okay. Yes. Awesome. All right. Welcome, guys. Happy Tuesday. Yes, I'm on earlier than I said I would be, but I also told you I might be on earlier. I forgot that I have some stuff that I have to do around 7:30, and I wanted to make sure. Hi, Kadu. How are you? Hi, Ryder. I forgot I had something to do at 7:30, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to do the full hour with you guys so we could get into these stories. So I'm on about 45 minutes earlier than I said I would be. But never fear, if you aren't catching it live and you're watching this, you're obviously catching the replay, which will be up forever on YouTube and Facebook. So hi, guys. We're going to get started at about 6:20. Planning on running till about 7:20. I have a prospective tenant coming that I have to do an interview with at 7:30. So we're going to get to these stories. I'm going to answer your questions. One of y'all sent me in a really good story today. And thank you to Miss Whitney. She sent me a story that I hadn't even heard of. It's a local story, and I'm really excited. I did a little bit of background work on it, but I couldn't get much information. But I'll tell y'all about it when the show starts. Yes. So we're getting started at 6:20. As you come in, tell me where you're joining from. You know, what city, what country. Tell me what your name is. I want to get to know you guys. Tuesday, I'm thinking that Tuesday we're going to have to fudge around with the time a little bit more. I was saying 7 o'clock, but I think that 7 might be a little bit too much for me. Hi, whoever came in on Facebook, say hi. Wow, really? But yeah, I am keeping 2 days a week. I don't know if we're going to be able to keep 7 just because my schedule is so hectic sometimes. But I'm definitely still going to be on 2 days a week for you guys. But yeah, we're getting started in about 3 minutes. Bring in your friends. If you know anybody who wants to learn about business formation topics, bring them on into the room. I know that some of you guys are probably in transit, going home, out enjoying the weather, but we're going to get to these stories today. I got a migraine today. Last week on Thursday, I couldn't even do the full hour because I had a migraine onsetting. And any of you who suffer from migraines know that the pre-migraine can be just as debilitating as the actual migraine. You get light sensitivity, you get sound sensitivity, and if you didn't know, I have a bright light shining into my eye the entire time that we do this show. So while I was doing the show on Thursday, my brain was like, girl, what are you doing? So I am in good health and good spirits today. I'm really excited to talk to you guys about these stories. We're going to get started in 2 minutes. If you are in here, drop your name and where you are joining from so that we can all be friends and know where, know what we're doing. I think maybe I should start the show off with music going forward. Sometimes I feel like my 5-minute intro can be a little long, but I also don't want to get shut down for copyright infringement. Yeah. So 2 more minutes till we start, and then you're going to be able to get your questions answered. Seems like we have a pretty quiet crowd today, but that is okay. Y'all, my notebook is starting to look like a well-worn Bible. Do you see this? These are all stories. Stories that we've covered. Like, it is, I thank you to Nancy who gave me this notebook because I'm really getting a lot out of it. Yeah, so we're starting in less than 60 seconds. You're going to want to invite your friends. I got a lot to talk about today. I'm very excited about it. Ooh, I got a mosquito bite, y'all. They are out here eating me alive. But it's okay. I got one person here from Twitter. I rarely get people from Twitter. Thank you for joining. I'm getting some Twitter love today. All right. I got 2 people from Twitter who's on Twitter. I don't see the second person. I see Ryder, who's the second person in here. Say hi, Twitter. I'm excited. I don't usually get, I usually get Instagram and Facebook participation, but Twitter, you guys are doing pretty good today. Okay. All right. All right, it's 6:20, y'all. Okay, welcome. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Share this out to your friends. Welcome to NPL Legal Dish, my twice weekly show where I teach business and legal concepts to entrepreneurs. If you are wondering why this crazy lady is on the internet trying to talk to you, I am Natalie Pierre Lewis. I'm the owner and operator of MPL Consulting LLC, a business formation firm. What that means is I help you get your business paperwork together. If you need contracts, if you need to get your business registered with the state, if you need to hire employees properly, if you need to protect your intellectual property through trademarks, patents, and copyrights, I'm the person that helps you get all that done. If you're wondering why I'm qualified, I am so happy that you asked. I am a licensed attorney. I have been one for over a decade. I've started multiple businesses for myself and others. I have secured trademarks for former clients, started both online and offline businesses. I've had many careers myself in the realms of law, education, entrepreneurship, hospitality, and administrative support. And most important, I'm very passionate about making business and legal education as accessible to everybody as possible. Not everybody has the time, the money, or the desire to go to business school or to law school. Hi, my silent dance party. But so many of you out here have amazing business ideas. And if you're going to make it in business, there are just some certain topics that you are going to have to know. All right. So that's why I'm here. Now, this show, I take stories from the news, celebrity stories, pop culture stories, and I use them to illustrate the concepts that you need to know as a business owner, particularly in terms of protecting your brand and contracts. Okay. So if you are interested in any of my business formation services, please go to Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm, Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm, Linktree/NPL Consulting Firm. I'm going to see if I can actually pop this into NPL Consulting Firm. Okay. So I think I got that to all of you guys in YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter land. And let me write this up on Facebook. So this is where you can book your free 15-minute consultation. That is also where you can get a lot of my freebies in terms of ebooks and cheat sheets. That is where all my stuff is housed. It's also, hi Tanya, it's also where you can see what programs I have going on, all right? So now that I have shilled my wares, we're going to go through these stories. Now, as I go through these stories, I'm going to ask you questions, so you need to pay attention, all right? And if there is a question that you have that I haven't gotten to, feel free to drop it in the comments. I want to talk to you. Hello, Jason Deslandis. Thank you for joining us. All right. So we are starting. Our first story is actually I'm going to go with this story first, even though it came later in my order of stories, but it has to do with the title. If you are reading the title of my show, you will see that it is called I'm Not Justin Bieber and I've Got the Trademark to Prove It. Now, the reason why I got this case or wrote this case down for you guys is because you can call you after the broadcast? Okay. It's because you can turn, a negative into a positive. And this is exactly what this case is about. So there is a baseball player. He plays for the Cleveland Indians, and his name is Shane Bieber. And one of the big baseball companies, I think it's called Top Card, they actually misidentified him on the card and called him Justin Bieber. So what he is doing is he is now trademarking the phrase "not Justin" for himself when for his sports paraphernalia. So I just thought it was a really cute story illustrating how being misidentified can actually turn into a positive, because this guy is taking what could have been a big thing. You got a big baseball company, they got cards of you everywhere, and they're calling you Justin, and he's like, well, I'm not Justin, so let me trademark that and let y'all know that I'm not Justin Bieber. All right, because when you hear Bieber, most people think Justin Bieber, right? All right, so let me mark that case off so I know not to go through it again. So do we have any questions about Shane Bieber trademarking "not Justin"? I don't know if we have any baseball fans in the house, but I thought it was pretty funny. Okay, so that I just wanted to start the show off with something quick and fun. All right, so now let's get to the nitty gritty. All right, if you guys have ever heard of Levi's jeans, please give me an L in the comments. If you have ever heard of Levi's jeans, give me an L in the comments. And if you have heard of Yves Saint Laurent or Yves Saint Laurent, give me a Y in the comments. If you've heard of Levi's, I want an L. If you've heard of Yves Saint Laurent, give me a Y. All right, I've got 2 L's. You guys know what Levi's are. Have y'all heard of Yves Saint Laurent? If you have, give me a Y. We know Levi's. All right, I got 1 for Yves Saint Laurent. Okay, no for Tanya. So Yves Saint Laurent is a very high-end clothing line. And we all know Levi's, they make jeans, right? And can you guys tell me what is the defining characteristic of Levi's jeans? What is the thing that is on their jeans? Can you tell me that kind of separates them from other jean labels, from other denim labels? There's something that they have on their jeans that separates them from other denim labels. And I want to know if you guys notice. It's something small, but it's very significant because that is the crux of this case. No. Hi, Cherry. Okay, so here's the thing. Levi's have a very signature, have a signature red tab. Yes, the patch on the back. They have a signature red pocket tab. They've used this red pocket tab. Good job, my silent dance party. They've used this red pocket tab since 1936. So it's pretty established that Levi's mark, their trademark, is this red tab on the jeans. So going forward, now we've got Yves Saint Laurent. Yves Saint Laurent has come out with a line of jeans, and now they are putting black pocket tabs on the jeans. And Levi's is taking issue with the black pocket tabs. Now, before I go into the details, I want you guys to write in the comments if you think that a black pocket tab, hi, Joffney Nicolette Inc., I want you to guys tell me, do you think that Yves Saint Laurent having a black pocket tab would have a bad effect on Levi's and their red pocket tabs? Because here's what the case is. Levi's found out that Yves Saint Laurent was putting black tabs on their denim, on their denim, which they were pricing at $550 to $2,590. And Levi said, no. The pocket tab is our thing. And if you put pocket tabs on your jeans, people are going to think that we're in collaboration, which we are not. Because remember, in fashion, their collaborations are very common now. You see it with H&M. I remember H&M did a campaign with Balmain. Tanya said she doesn't think that it's going to affect it because it's 2 different colors. Levi's did not agree. And so much that I guess they pushed back on Yves Saint Laurent so much, I wrote that check, that they've come to a settlement and Yves Saint Laurent is not going to be using the black tabs anymore. As well, Levi's has asked for a dismissal of their trademark infringement suit against Yves Saint Laurent without prejudice in case Yves Saint Laurent tries to come back and do the tabs again so they can come back and sue. So, red tabs versus black tabs to the audience. Tanya has already said that she doesn't think black tabs would affect Levi's history of the red tab on the jeans. So anybody else who's in the room, what do you think about Levi's red tab versus Yves Saint Laurent black tab? Do you think the black tab would affect Levi's sales? Or do you think that the black tab on Yves Saint Laurent jeans would make people think that Yves Saint Laurent was doing business with Levi's? So that is the question that I have for you. Yeah. Wow, Tanya. Okay. So put that in the comments. And while you do that, I'm going to introduce the next case because I want to hear your opinions, okay? And this case has to do with one of my faves, my childhood faves, Disney. If you have watched me with any regularity, you know that some months ago I was talking about the fact that Disney came under fire for having trademarked Hakuna Matata. We know Hakuna Matata was a famous phrase in The Lion King. They trademarked it in 1994. and most Americans had never heard the phrase before. However, Hakuna Matata is a very real phrase. It is part of the Swahili language, and they speak it all across many countries in Africa. Uh, so, um, so, uh, so whether you like it or not, Disney has a trademark on Hakuna Matata in the United States, right? And even though people are like, well, you should give it up, da da da. Anyway, Disney is still protecting their property because there is a company in China named, I think it's pronounced Hai. They have tried to trademark Hakuna Matata in China for balloons, confetti, infant toys, and toy fireworks. So I'm assuming that Disney does not have trademarks for those items for Hakuna Matata out in China. But when you think Hakuna Matata, I want to know from you guys, what do you think of when you hear the phrase Hakuna Matata? Because that's important. Hakuna Matata, it's a trademark phrase. Your trademark, it represents your goods in the marketplace. Tanya asks, but Lion King takes place in Africa, right? It does take place in Africa, absolutely. However, the backlash from Disney was that you took a phrase that was actually in someone's language and you trademarked it. So imagine if somebody in China tried to trademark the phrase, "Don't worry, be happy," right? Or tried to trademark the phrase, "No worries." It's English. It's our language. How are you going to take it and trademark it? And that is the backlash that was happening with Hakuna Matata. But Disney is like, fine, whatever. Y'all may not like it, but it's still ours. So this company in China that is trying to trademark Hakuna Matata, they're like, we don't care what y'all think. We're still going to defend our mark. So what do you think about this Chinese company trying to trademark Hakuna Matata for balloons, confetti, infant toys, and toy fireworks? Do you think that Disney should drop it because they've had, people complaining about them trademarking Hakuna Matata in the first place? Or do you think that Disney is right for defending their mark in the marketplace? Okay. So, all right. So let me move forward while you guys give me your commentary. This next story that we are talking about before we go to break, it is for all of my glasses wearers out here. Guys, if you wear glasses, there is a 95% chance that your frames were made by a company called Luxottica. Luxottica, they own pretty much every eyeglasses frame brand or have their hand in it that you can think of. I think they have a hand in Warby Parker. Anyway, look far enough behind any glasses frame company and Luxottica probably owns it. And there have actually been cases where people have tried to sue Luxottica for antitrust activity because they have such a grip on the eyewear market. Anyway, Luxottica had just won an award for $1.9 million because some okay, you're switching to your iPad. Because there was a vendor in a mall that was selling High New Level Enterprises. There was a vendor in the mall that was selling knockoff Luxottica glasses, and it wasn't the vendor that has to pay this 1.9. The person that has to pay this $1.9 million is the actual mall, because the landlords were held responsible for allowing their vendors to infringe on trademarks. So just because you are not directly selling infringing property doesn't mean that you can't get sold. We've had multiple cases on this show where landlords who rent commercial spaces and don't pay attention to what their tenants are doing, and their tenants are selling knockoff items, the landlords have been held liable for trademark infringement, because you should know what your tenant is doing. So for those of you out there who are interested in leasing out commercial space, if you're going to have a tenant who is going to sell items, make sure that they're not knockoff items, because you could be held on the hook for that, okay? Um, and I want to say, regroup, say hello to everybody who came in. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to NPL Legal Dish. We are out here getting to the stories, y'all. I'm Natalie Pierre-Lewis, owner and operator of NPL Consulting LLC, a business formation firm. If you would like to advertise your business on my show, I am selling 30-second spots starting at $3. Or you can sponsor an entire episode for $10. It is an easy way to get your name out here for your business. And we actually have a sponsor this week. It was the same sponsor as last week, Glam Studio J. And Glam Studio J has what they have to say to you today is, we all want to put our best face forward. And what better way than to give yourself the gift of glam? Book Glam Studio J for your next wedding, birthday, or special event. Based in Boston, Massachusetts, and available for travel. Email at info@glamstudioj.com and follow on all social media at Glam Studio J. So thank you, Glam Studio J, for sponsoring the show. As well, go check out my link that's in the comments, linktree/NPL consulting firm, to book a free 15-minute consultation with me and check out all the goodies that I have prepared, my digital products, my podcast, the back episodes of the show, all that stuff. Linktree/NPL consulting firm. All right. So now we are back. Let us move on to our next story. Okay, so this is the story of a law firm versus a children's hospital. So there is a law firm in Texas that is called Kwok Daniel, Kwok Daniel, and they were sued by the Texas Children's Hospital because they took a hospital logo that was on the hospital's website. They changed it up a little, and then they put it on their law firm website. So the hospital came after them, of course, because a hospital might be a charity. A hospital is considered a charity because it is supported by public funds. So the hospital came after the law firm, and they've both dropped their cases because the law firm actually tried to fight the hospital about this logo. So the law firm has agreed to stop using the logo, the mark, on their website. And this is just a case of how it doesn't always have to go through a knockout, drag out fight. Sometimes the court, High King Tax Services, sometimes the court of public opinion is going to make you like cool your heels really quick. I'm sure when people heard that a law firm was trying to sue a hospital for an altered mark, people were like, what are you doing? So congratulations to the Texas Children's Hospital. All right. Oh, hey, Tanya. All right. So do I have any reality show fans here? I do not like reality shows. I mean, I like reality shows that have like if it's a competition, like, you know, you win something or there's some type of goal at the end. But, you know, the shows where it's just like, hi, we're a bunch of people, watch us live. That's not my thing. However, obviously, there's a big market for reality shows because they're everywhere. And there was a particular reality show that was spearheaded by Viacom, which owns, you know, all those television stations. If you remember, there was a show that was called Floribama Shore. Floribama Shore. Okay? So Viacom is being sued by two places. They're being sued by a place called Floribama Lounge, and they are also being sued by an oyster bar that is located on the Florida-Alabama line. Oh, Tanya, you're not a fan of reality shows either? Me either. So the reason they're being sued is that these two places are saying that Viacom tried to exploit the iconic lounge's goodwill to get people to watch this show. I'm going to be honest with you. Prior to this reality show coming out, I had never heard the phrase Floribama. Have any of you heard the phrase or the name Floribama? Yeah, so this Floribama Lounge and the Oyster Bar are suing Viacom, saying that basically Viacom is trying to ride the coattails of these two these two establishments. I don't, right. I never heard about it either. I don't know if they have a case. I don't know what goes on in Floribama or whatever. I personally don't think that they have a case because prior to this show, just like with Disney and Hakuna Matata, nobody in the States really knew what Hakuna Matata meant before The Lion King. I never heard of Floribama before Viacom came out with a reality show. So you guys let me know what you think about these Floribama establishments trying to sue Viacom for using the name Floribama Shore. Okay? All right, I can't do this story because I forgot to post the picture, so we'll do that another time. Okay. Next story we are talking about. Do we have any art collectors in the room? Anybody like to collect art, paintings, whatever? If you have heard me talk, you know that when you purchase an item, when you purchase it right, like especially with luxury items, there are certain trademark rights that get cut off from the owner. So if you remember when I talked about buying a Louis Vuitton bag and you cut the Louis Vuitton bag up and you make it a hat and then you sell the hat, you can do that as long as you say it's an altered item. However, there are also rights from the maker that can limit on how you alter their stuff. So this is the story of Ryan Upchurch, who is a YouTube country rapper, and Jacob Aaron LeVay, who is a painter who specializes in painting country musicians. Okay. So Ryan Upchurch has 1 million followers, and he and Jacob LeVay, they met each other in 2016 at one of Ryan's concerts, and the rapper bought some of his paintings. LeVay says that the rapper Ryan Upchurch paid for some of the paintings, but did not pay for all of them. And when he asked for, he gave him the paintings. And then when he followed up and asked for the rest of his payment, the country rapper basically went ballistic. He took the paintings that he bought from LeVay and he shot them with his assault rifle, posted the videos to his Instagram, wrote, "Fuck this dude's paintings," and then put the paintings up for auction, right? So now the artist, Jacob LeVay, he is suing because he says that Ryan Upchurch mutilated his art and that violates the Visual Artists' Right Act of 1990, which gives you moral rights to your work. So it allows you to object to the way that somebody is using your work. So Mr. LeVay is using this Visual Artists' Right Act to say, you can't sell my pictures that even though you bought them, you can't sell them with, bullet holes all through them because that is not what my art is for. So I thought that this was an interesting side of copyright law. And, it's not just about the money sometimes. It's about the morals. It's about the feelings. It's about, what feels good to you and how you want your art expressed. So there has been no resolution as of yet, but we'll wait and see if Ryan Upchurch wins or if Mr. LeVay wins. Because I would be mad if I went and I made a beautiful painting and somebody slashed it up and then sold it. Are you kidding? Whatever. Anyway. But I want to know, what do you guys think of that? Do you think that the rapper who shot up these paintings, do you think it's okay for him to do that since he paid for most of them and he pretty much owned them? Do you think it's okay for him to shoot these paintings up and then resell them? And while you do that, I'm going to follow up on a quick story that we talked about last week. Last week, I told you about the case of Syracuse University suing a brewery that was selling something called Cuse Juice. And the brewery basically fell back because they were like, we don't have enough money to fight Syracuse. But they said, we'll just finish selling out what we have now. Well, the Cuse juice from this brewery are selling like hotcakes because people know it's there for a limited time. So this is a really good a really good story about how, something being limited edition and scarce, and being kind of taboo, can increase your visibility. Because hi Sincere 39, because who knows how the Cuse juice was selling prior to people finding out that they weren't going to be sold anymore. And now people are like, get me that Cuse juice before it runs out. So congratulations to Cuse juice. All right. Sincere 39, I have missed you, sir. Thanks for popping in. All right. Our next case that we are talking about has to do with an athletic wear company named Velocity versus a company that I used to shop at all the time, New York and Company. I used to love New York and Company. They would have, my blouses and stuff and my pants so I could go to school. But their style, it doesn't mesh with me anymore. But they are still very much a player in the fashion world. And as we know, because we are becoming a more health conscious society, a lot of brands are branching out into activewear, right? So you have Velocity. They're an activewear line. So yeah, it was supposed to start at 7, but I forgot that I had something to do at 7:30, and I wanted to make sure that we got the full hour in. But you're going to be able to go. We're not very far in. You'll be able. We start at like 6:20. Okay. So Velocity is an activewear line. They've been around, and then New York and Company basically started their own activewear line and completely copied Velocity's design, mark, everything. And then when Velocity sued New York and Company said, well, there was no confusion for the activewear line, so there are no damages. The court disagreed with New York and Company and said that there is no need for actual confusion for there to be trademark infringement. The fact that you exactly copied somebody's mark is enough to implicate that there will be confusion. So no, maybe nobody was like, ooh girl, New York and Company's line looks just like Velocity, but anybody with eyes can see that it's the same thing. So New York and Company has to pay Velocity $1.8 million because of their willful trademark. Okay. So don't copy anybody's design. And on that note, I have a Hi One True Empress. I have a follow-up story to that somebody gave to me this morning. If you looked at my stories, I posted a photo and I asked you if it was inspiration or stealing. So there is a brand in DC that is called Eat. It is a very distinctive mark. It is 3 letters with primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. Forget the order. Another business in DC has opened up, and the business, their letters are PSA, but the letters, the colors and the font of the letters are exactly the same. The letters are different, but the font is the same and the colors are the same. So I posted in my stories, I asked you guys if you think it's inspiration or stealing. Sincere, you responded and said that you think it's inspiration. However, I contacted one of the founders of this company, Eat, to see if they wanted to give a comment. And they said that this is now a legal matter, so they could not give any comment. So Eat is going after this PSA company because they believe that they are infringing on their mark. So if you are in the DMV area, go to DMV social events and look up that post and look at the commentary. Hi, Dave 9532. All right. Because this is a real-time example of what is trademark infringement, what is inspiration, how close do you have to get. I would really encourage you guys, if you're in the DMV area, to follow this story. All right. Okay. Also, yeah, okay. So do you guys have any commentary on the Velocity story or the Eat story? Do you think that Velocity should have gotten 1.8 million Do you think that each should be going after this company legally for using the same colors and the same font in their business name? While you guys give me your answers, I'm gonna introduce the next story real quick. Yes. To those of you just coming in, I'm Natalie Pierre-Lewis. Just reset real quick. I'm Natalie Pierre-Lewis, owner and operator of NPL Consulting LLC. You are watching NPL Legal Dish, my twice weekly show where I teach you business and legal concepts to help you get out there in these business streets and be successful. If you would like to talk to me personally, E is going after them. Go to the link in my bio, linktree/NPL consulting firm, and book a free 15-minute consultation. Yeah, so that is my commercial. If you want to advertise your business on my show, 30-second spots start at $3, or you can sponsor an entire episode for $10. Let's get to your commentary. Sincere39 said each should go after them. Each is going after this other company. I contacted one of the founders and they said it's now a legal matter and they can't give any commentary. So we can expect a lawsuit probably pretty soon. One True Empress said if New York company went bankrupt, they would still have to pay. They would still have to pay, but they're not bankrupt. New York and company, I believe that they own several companies. They can pay Velocity. And and even if, like, let's say they didn't have enough liquid assets, they would find a way to get the money. They'd go after people's personal assets, whatever. But hi Pop Daddy. So yeah. Thank you guys for the comments. I appreciate that. All right. Next story we're talking about is a follow-up. If you watch me, I think One True Empress, you were here for this episode where we talked about Booking.com. I'm great. So Booking.com tried to trademark Booking.com. Remember that you can trademark a domain name. And they were denied by the USPTO office because the USPTO office said that it was too generic of a name, Booking.com. We all know, if you don't know, Booking.com, they're one of the best known travel services in the United States, right? And the US PTO office won't let them trademark Booking.com because they're saying that Booking is too generic. And they're like, well, no, it's a domain name. It's Booking.com. And the court was like, adding .com to the name doesn't make it any less generic. So Booking.com for right now is not able to trademark their domain name. But I want to know from you guys, do you think that Booking.com should be able to trademark it? When you think Booking.com, do you think of a service or do you think of a company? So while you guys give me your answers for that, also wanted to let you know, my wrestling fans know that WWE has recently trademarked the phrase "fight like a girl." Now, "fight like a girl" is a very common phrase. We've all heard it before. So how are they able to trademark it? Remember, when you are trademarking something, you are trademarking both. What do you mean both? Okay, Sincere39 makes you think of both. One True Empress said it makes you think of a service. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you. All right. So now moving forward, if we have any wrestling fans, look out in the near future because WWE has trademarked the phrase "fight like a girl." Like I said, it's a very common phrase, but they are trademarking it for a very specific purpose. WWE has trademarked the phrase "fight like a girl" for a reality search competition to find the next female superstar for wrestling, okay? And also for TV and live events. So probably in the next year or so, you will see some type of WWE competition pop up called "Fight Like a Girl." And you heard it first here, all right? I want my credit. But the reason why they're able to trademark such a generic phrase is because they're trademarking it for a very specific thing. They're not just trying to, keep it all to themselves. All right, we talked about Shane Bieber. Okay. All right. Um. Okay. Has anybody here ever heard of the clothing line Hugo Boss? If you have heard of the clothing line Hugo Boss, give me an H in the comments. Give me an H, woo, in the comments. Oh. And while you do that, let me give you the background, okay? So there is, okay, I got one H and I got one yes. So there is a company called Swansea's Boss Brewing. They've been in business since 2014, and they are a Welsh company. So they're over in Europe somewhere. I forget. Welsh. I don't know what country's nickname is Welsh, but whatever. They're a Welsh brewing company, and they were trying to trademark the name of some of their beers. Now, usually it costs about, when I read in the story, it costs about £300 to trademark, but they have had to spend over £10,000 on trademarking and ultimately to stop selling their items. So here's the thing. They had two beers, right? This brewing company. They had one that was called Boss Black and one that was called Boss, okay? They filed trademarks for them. Hugo Boss found out they were trying to trademark Boss Black and Boss, and they basically said, look, I know that we don't have any Ooh. Sorry, Facebook, about that. I got to put my Do Not Disturb on. Hold on, y'all. Somebody was trying to ruin my show. Okay, so Hugo Boss said, look, we don't have a trademark on alcohol, but our name is known throughout the world as Boss. And we would really like it if you would stop using our phrase, to the point that they actually, opposed this brewing company's trademark and took them to court over it, which is why they had to spend over £10,000 on it. Ultimately, this company has decided to stop selling the beers. Well, not to stop selling beers, but to change the name of their beers and stop selling the branded clothing that they had made for it, because they just don't have the money to fight Hugo Boss. They don't think it's fair, but they also don't want to go out of business. So these two beers, so Boss Black is being renamed Boss Brewing Black, and the Boss is being renamed Boss Bossy. And this brewing company now has to change all the labels on all of the bottles. So what I want to know from you is, do you think that Hugo Boss should have gone after this brewing company? Hugo Boss is not known for alcohol, but they still made this company spend over £10,000. I don't know what that is in US dollars, but I'm sure it's a little bit more, to defend a trademark that they don't even have. The brewing company feels that Hugo Boss is being a bully, but they just don't have money to fight them. So do you think that Hugo Boss should have gone after it? Or do you think that they're being a bully? One True Empress, you said yup. What are you saying yup to? What are y'all saying yes to? That Hugo Boss was right or Hugo Boss was wrong? Because I think this is a stretch. I think Hugo Boss was just trying to be a bully. Just like you have companies like Monster out here that try to bully people for using anything close to an M in their logos. I think Hugo Boss was a stretch here. Nobody goes to Hugo Boss for alcohol. So I want to know, tell me if Hugo Boss, because y'all said yes, but I can't even remember my question. So is it yes, Hugo Boss was right, or yes, Hugo Boss was wrong? Sincere39 said they should go after the beer company. One True Empress said they may close, so yes, go after, and yes, bully. You know what? I didn't even think about it. I forgot they were making clothing merch. Y'all are so smart. Because I was totally focusing on the beer. Yeah, the clothing would be a problem. Y'all are amazing. Amazing. Okay. Yeah, so this brewing company has to change all their labels and stop selling merch. Okay? All right. Sincere39, they don't want to be associated with alcohol. I don't know if it's necessarily they don't want to be associated with alcohol. I think, like One True Empress said, the brewing company was making shirts, and they say Boss and Boss Black. And someone might mistake that, hi Nisi sis, and someone might mistake that for a Hugo Boss item. I completely went left over there. Sincere 39, clothes, shoes, cologne, watches, Hugo Boss is into everything. They are into everything. All right. So that is Hugo Boss. Our next story that we are talking about. Oh, this is a fun one. If anybody here is a DC Comics fan, put DC in the comments. If you like DC Comics. Let me see if we can go do this again. If you are a DC Comics fan, give me a DC in the comments. And if you are a DC Comics fan, or if you are a comic fan in general, you have most likely heard of the Justice League, right? But have you ever heard of the algorithmic Justice League? So if you've heard it, all right, I got one person who's heard of DC Comics. Sincere, have you heard of the algorithmic Justice League? I'm sure we've heard of like Justice League. I think Justice League is Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Aquaman. I don't remember who's in it. Anyway, but if you're a comics fan, you know that there is a team called Justice League. However, I've never heard of a team called the Algorithmic Justice League. Right? No, you haven't heard of it either. Sincere. The Algorithmic Justice League is a group that was started at MIT that spotlights the negative consequences of certain technology. And they combat, Aquaman, okay, thank you. And they combat bias in algorithms and artificial intelligence. So the person who started this Algorithmic Justice League, that the purpose of it is to talk about the negative consequences of technology, they're being sued by DC Comics because DC Comics is saying that by naming your group the Algorithmic Justice League, they're going to think that you are in cahoots with DC Comics, or this is a DC Comics venture. So I want to know from you guys, whether you are a comic book fan or not, or a comic fan or not, if you heard Algorithmic Justice League, would you think of DC Comics? I personally don't think it's that big a deal. And the article I read also was very unkind to DC and was like, what are you doing? No one is going to think that the Algorithmic Justice League is a part of the DC Comics lore. So do you think that DC Comics should go after the Algorithmic Justice League? Do they have an argument? Or should they leave the Algorithmic Justice League alone? No, DC, they are real, you are fake. One True Empress said, no, DC, they're real, you are fiction. So, okay, that is an argument. The Algorithmic Justice League is an actual group that exists in reality. Justice League is a fictional group in a comic. So, do you think that the name is causing any confusion amongst the general public? I'm gonna let y'all give me your opinions on that, and I'm gonna catch you up. Ooh, another fun story. While you tell me your comments on that, do I have any people here who like to mix ketchup with mayonnaise? Anybody here like to mix ketchup? Okay, One True Empress said they're bullies. I agree with you. I think they're bullies. Next story. Does anybody like to mix ketchup with mayonnaise? I know some people like to do it and dip their fries in it, because this is a story that has to do with ketchup and mayonnaise. So if you like ketchup and mayonnaise, give me a KM in the comments. All right. So here's the story. So Heinz, we all know Heinz. They make ketchup. They make hold on. Sit there now has a comment. He said, no, not to the general public, but comic book nerds may get upset. Okay. One True Empress said mayo ketchup Caribbean ting. I'm Caribbean and I don't even like mayo. I've never done mayo with ketchup. Sincere 39 said, no, you don't like mayo with ketchup. Hi, Marco. All right. So we all know Heinz. They make ketchup, they make mustard, they make relish, they make mayo, but they also sell mixtures of this. In the United States, Heinz has a product that is called Mayo Chup, right? And they tried. Heinz is coming out. Yeah, exactly. And I think they've already come out with it. It's sold for like, they said it sells for like $2.95 in the US, right? However, Heinz, they're a global company, and they tried to go to the UK and introduce Mayo Chup. Unfortunately, there is already a Mayo Chup that is registered in the UK. So, Heinz is still going to be able to sell their Mayo Chup in the UK, but they have to change the name. So Heinz is changing the mayo ketchup mix to something that they're calling saucy sauce. I think it's a dumb name. But what do you think about Heinz changing the name from Mayo Chup to saucy sauce? Do you think that was a good decision? Do you think that they could have come up with any other name other than saucy sauce? And just to add to it, Heinz also is coming out with Mayo Must, which is a mixture of mayo and mustard, Mayo Q, which is mayonnaise and barbecue, and something called Cranch, which is ketchup and ranch. So what do you think about, so do you think that saucy sauce was the best name that Heinz could have come up? Terrible decision. Terrible decision. So what if you had the opportunity to rename Heinz's saucy sauce because you can't use Mayo Chup? What do you think they should have named it instead of saucy sauce? I want to know what you guys, give me some examples, because I feel like Heinz needed some new people in the boardroom to come. Saucy sauce? Come on, man. That doesn't even tell me what's in it. One True Empress said MNK. Sincere 39 said they will probably come up with another name, hopefully. I hope, but so far they've registered saucy sauce in the UK. MNK, no idea. Justin Bieber. Oh, okay. So, I have somebody from Twitter, y'all. So here's what happened to Justin Bieber. There's a baseball player by the name of Shane Bieber. I talked about this earlier. He was mistaken for Justin Bieber on a baseball card, so he is trademarking the phrase "not Justin." So that was the Justin Bieber story. But you can go back and watch the replay and catch all the facts, okay? But yeah. So I want to know, so let me see. One True Empress said that Heinz could have done M&K. I think that would have been a good idea. Sincere agrees with you too, One True Empress. I think that we should contact Heinz and tell them to put you on their board of naming stuff. But yeah, so look out for, if you're in the UK, look out, and you're looking for mayo and ketchup, look out for Heinz saucy sauce. All right. We only have... we got like 12 more minutes. Okay. 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 All right. So this is a story for all of you who are interested in interested in skincare or hair care. If you've heard the what do you call it? The company of L'Oreal. If you have ever heard of L'Oreal, give me an L in the comments. And if you have ever heard of the company Olaplex, give me an O in the comments. So if you've heard of L'Oreal, give me an L. And if you have heard of Olaplex, give me an O. All right. And while you guys do that, all right, I've got an L from Marco. Okay. So here's what happened. In 2015, a small company called Olaplex met with L'Oreal to talk about L'Oreal buying their hair strengthening system. And when they came to this meeting, they shared a lot of private information. They had L'Oreal sign a non-disclosure, non-competition agreement. Um, and to make sure that they wouldn't steal anything. I guess the negotiations didn't go well because Olaplex asked for $1 billion from L'Oreal, and L'Oreal was like, "Girl, you tried it." So they said no, right? 1 year later, L'Oreal comes out with their own hair strengthening system that is very similar to what Olaplex had. So Olaplex filed a trade secret infringement case in 2017. They filed for trade secret infringement, misappropriation, patent infringement, and breach of contract. Why? No, I do this for free. I do this to teach you guys how to be in business. Thank you for coming, Marco. You are so welcome here. But yes, so they filed for L'Oreal. They said L'Oreal violated their trade secret because they showed them how to do something. They said misappropriation because L'Oreal was using it in the wrong way. Patent infringement because the way that they do it is something that is protected. Remember, when you have a patent, it protects the process of how you do something or an invention. And they're also suing for breach of contract because you signed a non-competition and a non-disclosure agreement, and you out here selling our same product. So, L'Oreal, they lost, and this small company, Olaplex, because this was a case of a very small company going up against a very big company. Olaplex was awarded $100 million. $100 million. They got $22 million for breach of contract, $22 million for trade secret violations, and they got about $47 million for patent infringement. Hi, King Tez. When I tell you guys that protecting your brands is lucrative, $100 million for this little tiny company from L'Oreal, all right? This is why it's This is why it is important to protect your brand. Get your non-disclosure agreements. Have your contracts in place. Make sure you have your trademarks. Because you could be this little company and another big company come and try and scoop your stuff. You go to the court, you have your paperwork in order, and you say, "Where's my money?" $100 million for this little company that nobody's probably heard about. So congratulations to Olaplex. And I think we have time for one more story, unless you guys have some questions. This last question has to do with olive oil. I love to cook with olive oil. It's supposed to be one of the healthier oils. And there are two brands that were in a fight. So there are two olive oil companies. One is called Corto Olive, and the other one is called Gemsa Enterprises. Okay. Corto Olive came up with this really cute packaging that said 5149. I don't know what 5149 refers to, but it was super cute. And then Gemsa Enterprises went and literally copied it almost exactly, except for the logo. So of course, Corto has sued Gemsa Enterprises. Gemsa has agreed to stop using the packaging that they copied from Corto, and they are also recalling the unsold olive oil. So all that olive oil that they sent to their suppliers, they have to take it back and figure out what to do with it. They might have to relabel, whatever. And they have to use a new package design. Hello, Eugene, CHV. They have to choose a new design that Corto Olive has to approve of. So not only do you have to change your design and stop selling this product, you have to go to the people who sued you and say, "Hey, is this design okay to use on our stuff?" Right? So congratulations to Corto. Yes. So do you guys have any questions about these stories, about how these decisions come about whether any commentary? Like, why I do these stories is to teach you guys how these rules apply, how they can affect you monetarily, how they can affect your brand. We have people that were awarded millions of dollars. We have people who had to change their whole branding strategies. We have people who took something that was a negative and made it into a positive. Protecting your name out in these streets and, making people honor their contracts, it is a serious thing when you are in business. And that is why I'm here to teach you about all these